Holy Thursday, as we come together today, is really quite a special occasion in the year of the church, because the parishes this morning didn't have any masses. There was only one mass. And I'm sure you're aware of that. It was at the cathedral this morning at 10 o'clock with the bishop and all the priests of the archdiocese. Big, long crowd. Took us almost 15, 20 minutes to walk into the church. And a wonderful crowd of people there as well, possibly some of yourselves witnessing this event that we celebrate on Holy Thursday. But it's not just that event. There's also no Mass in the parish except this Mass. So we have all the various priests with us who would have possibly be saying Mass at various times during the day, all together celebrating with all of you this Mass. A special Mass in that sense, because on Holy Thursday we commemorate the institution of the priesthood. And so the priests come together to support one another in this, their vocation, their call. But it's also the vocation of the priesthood of the people. And so everyone gathers together. The holy oils are also blessed at the cathedral, at the Chrism Mass as it's called in the morning, because they are to be from that center of grace and remembrance spread throughout the whole archdiocese. So at the end of Mass, the parish priests would pick up little phials of the oil that had been consecrated, blessed at the Chrism Mass, and bring it back to the parish. And why do they do that? As you know, because the oils, without going into a lot of detail, sanctify the baptisms, sanctify and consecrate the priests to their vocation, strengthen those who are making their confirmation, and also for the healing and comfort of the sick. Also on this day, which brings us together, is the highlight of the institution of the Eucharist, the body and blood of Christ. So the only other Mass besides the Chrism Mass this morning is this evening's Mass, where we gather and pass back into time to the start of this Eucharistic celebration at the table of the Last Supper. An awesome, inspiring moment at that time, and also through the ages. And now, in this very community, gathered together, representing all the parishes, all the parishioners of this parish, and possibly even people visiting and others from other parishes. The gift we share in the Eucharist is the gift of Jesus' love for us. The unity and the charity is one to be reflected on in our own lives. And what that story that we heard again, and from the Bible, the Old Testament, St. Paul writing, and of course the New Testament, what that means to us in this age and in our lives. We hear the sort of thing that comes across the servant leader, the servant teacher, the servant preacher. the servant parents. There's a combination that is required in our Christian life to reflect on, insofar as we are servants, as Jesus demonstrated as a servant, as a slave, washing the feet of his disciples, but at the same time a witness to the love, the charity, and mercy of God. And the point in my mind as well that Jesus does this, I'm sure, knowing that his disciples, his apostles, those closest to him, except for John, would be missing on that Calvary hill, would be missing on that Good Friday, abandoned, the very one they said they would stay with. And so in our own weakness we tend to understand a bit better and believe in the mercy, the great mercy of God and the closeness of God's Son Jesus to us, even in our confusion sometimes, even in our abandonment at times, even in our doubt, that Jesus knows this of us. He is close to us. In this, as we grapple, we know that we have a servant leader, a servant teacher with us, with the strength as well of the servant preacher, if you like, of the church, and the sacraments that extend to us the courage to return to his table, as did his apostles, disciples, women and men who share in the mysteries of this faith through the ages and into our own time, once again revealed to us during these 3 days of recollection and thoughtful provocation in our liturgies. Bishop Duncan this morning in his sermon used a couple of phrases that I think most of us know well and are acquainted with. He started off by mentioning the 200 years of the Catholic Church in Southern Africa, and saying also that this Easter weekend we can be consoled, comforted, proud of the fact that our faith has grown so strong in this southern part of the continent for us. And that this Easter weekend, he says, for us and every community should be a new dawn. And then he goes on to say our prayer must be one that echoes the words, "Send me. Send me, Lord, as your disciple to live and share the faith that gathers us into unity and love at the table of the Lord."
We now are having the rite of commitment of the extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion. And I'm asking for those, especially, I'm talking because we have many Eucharist ministers who help out a little bit here and there, but I'm asking for those who do the visitations, who go out and visit. You'll see now all the ones who visit are sick and are shut in every weekend. Please, the ministers of Eucharist who do go out and visit on that 8 o'clock Mass and help out with the other Masses, please come stand before me. Please stand, Eucharistic ministers, come forward. These are ministers who you see on our regular roster, going out to all parks of our parish, from Gibbler Park, Reese Park, right up to Robertsham, Crown Gardens, etc. This is just a part, because there are many more who are not at our Mass this evening, who are also involved in this ministry. My dear Christians of St. John Bosco Parish and St. John Bosco Catholic Church, I wish to announce to you that our brothers and sisters, by indult of the Apostolic See, have been entrusted with the important duty of distributing Holy Communion to themselves and to their fellow Christians.
May Almighty God bless all those who wear this symbol of their dedication and commitment to the spread of the faith, especially the love and the concern and the mercy of Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
Amen. I now go with Father as he distributes to each minister a cross. Please turn around. Congregation, please. These are some of our special Eucharistic ministers.